That's a good sign. Awesome. Good morning. So we are going to do basically a morning practice. So this is a lot of stuff that I do when I get up. And if I, I get up, I mean, I'm an early riser, but sometimes I get up and just kind of wander and do things and think and la la la. So this is when I actually am committed enough to grabbing my mat, unrolling it. And this is actually a practice that I usually do while I'm making my coffee and drinking my coffee, which I don't think is very yogic, but whatever. I'm just who I am. So let's start just seated either on the floor or on a block. I was so excited. I actually slept in this morning, which is a rarity in my life. I'm one of those people who naturally, without an alarm, not to brag, but kind of naturally without an alarm, I wake up usually sometime between 5 and 6. And I slept in today till 7, which is quite rare for me. Anyway, it's lovely. And when I got up, it was beautiful and bright and sunny. And, and then the clouds rolled in. Um, so I feel like it's, I don't know what that says about the day ahead, but I am committed to having a great practice this morning. And then I'm gonna go and do some gardening and fun stuff like that. So to those of you who are celebrating Mother's Day, I honor you and I acknowledge you and I thank you for doing all of the great things that mothers do. And so this practice, I always feel that mothers don't have always time to do all the things that they need to do for themselves, but we'll kind of work through this. You're going to experience this morning chunks of different flowy bits that maybe there's one piece you like, maybe it's all of it that you like. And my morning practice, quite realistically, is usually between, depending on how the ADHD is doing when I wake up in the morning. I usually do a morning practice between, who am I kidding, 3 minutes, because we all have those days where you unroll the mat and then go, forget it. So between about 3 minutes and 30 minutes, but I'm not doing breath work. I'm not doing a Shavasana. I consider my shower time about as Shavasana as I'm going to get in the morning. So this is kind of an example of what my mornings might look like. Yeah, with not drinking coffee the whole time. So people are online with me now. This is great. Let's settle in. I always do a wiggle in to my block or wherever I'm sitting. And if I'm doing my own actual morning practice, I don't always sit first. I tend to kind of stand and just say, oh, let's do it. But this is a good place to start. So you soften your eyes and kind of go within yourself, check in, see how you're feeling. Notice those energy centers. Notice what is doing well this morning. And also notice what maybe is not doing well this morning. Again, notice it without judgment. And then really start to deepen the breath even more. Good. Let's open the eyes here and just get your fingers going. Maybe some wrists. Switching directions. I'm at an age now where, like, years ago when I started doing programming, I was like, oh yeah, do your wrists. Now I'm at an age where I'm like, oh yes, do the wrists, do the fingers. It's amazing. It's amazing when you start to develop that lived experience. Good. A little bit of a shoulder roll. And again, switching directions. And then some head rolls. If you are hating every moment of this because you don't like to sit in this posture, sit in a chair or sit on the sofa. Make yourself comfortable enough to do your version of whatever the heck my version is. Good. Rolling it back. Nice. I'm going to bring my hands to the knees here. These are not my knees. These are my knees. And I'm going to do a little bit of a modified cat-cow. I really just want to think about creating some length along the spine. So I'm going to breathe in. My chest lifts. I'm kind of arching the back here, stretching up through the neck, bring the head back. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in. Get taller. And then exhale, rounding the back, kind of roll your shoulders forward. Tuck the chin to the chest. Inhale. Exhale. Breathing in and out. Do a few more of these. Again, noticing how you are feeling, what is tight. Inhale. And exhale. Good. And then let's come on down to the hands and knees. I'm gonna jump off the block. I can sit for so much longer if I have a block. If you don't have a block, buy one. They're like, seriously, I don't know, $10 now at Winners. And I challenge you to get through Winners with only buying blocks and not everything else that you don't need. That store is that store is a trap. All right. So moving to a tabletop position here, and take a moment to stretch back, tuck your toes here, just stretch along the leg, the calf. Really tighten up through your core, and from here, I'm going to invite you to kind of lift the foot up, keep it strong, keep the foot flexed. Move out to the side as far as you can without really kind of twisting through the hip and back. Drop the toe. And then come back to center. So let's lift up on the inhale and out. Exhale down. Inhale up and back. Exhale down. Keep the neck long. Inhale up. The side. Exhale down. Inhale up. Center and down. Switching to the other side. Start with that stretch, pressing into the toe base. Make sure I have enough space here. And let's lift the other. Make sure that neck stays long. Lift up the leg. Nice flexed foot. So this is our inhale, move to the side. Exhale, tap down. Inhale up and over. Exhale, tap down. Inhale up and over. Exhale, tap down. Inhale up and over. And exhale, top down. Good. Bring the knees back to the mat. Bring them further apart. Toe knuckles come together. Sink back into a child's pose. Stretch forward. Child's pose is one of the postures that I don't ever want to skip or rush through. Really breathe into it so you feel that low back starting to release and relax. And then coming up to the forearms, bring your knees closer together. We're going to go up into the dolphin here. So you can keep your hands apart, or you can bring your hands together and lace the fingers. That's how I like to do this posture. Both are fine. And when you're ready, tighten through the core. We're going to take a deep breath in. Exhale, up and back. Lower back to the knees, uncurl your toes, walk your way back into the hero. So we're sitting down onto the heels and roll your shoulders up, back, and down. So we're going to do that a few times in and out of the dolphin. When you're in the dolphin, it can be really intense, and that intensity can be misinterpreted by the brain as discomfort or upset or challenge or whatever. So breathe really deeply while you're doing it. Let your head fully hang and try and get a sense of a slow, supportive breath to help you through it. If there is sharp pain anywhere in your body, like in your shoulders or anything, then skip this and maybe just come in and out of child's pose. A reason to not do dolphin, should have said this before, but that would be a rotator cuff issue. Otherwise, you should be good to go. So let's do that again. I'm just going to bring my forearms down, hands together, flip my toes, breathe in, exhale up and back. Let's try and do 3 breaths. Down to the knees, uncurl the toes, walk your hands back, roll the shoulders. Now you have an option to lift up and lean into this, bringing the shoulders together, arching the back. Slowly sink down. Forearms come forward, hands together, flip your toes, inhale. Exhale, up and back, dolphin. Let's try 4 breaths. Drop to the knees, uncurl your toes, walk your way back into hero, roll the shoulders, option to lift up, leaning back. Thinking back down, lots of control on the descent. Let's do one more time. Forearms come forward, hands together, breathe in. Exhale up and back, 5 breaths. Drop to the knees. Walk your way back to the hero, shoulders roll. Again, lift up with this tight core, hands come back, leaning into this. And then release to the hands and knees. Step back your feet so we're into a little bit of a plank here. Who am I kidding? It's a full plank. We'll lower to the knees, uncurl the toes, bring those arms in tight to the body, and lower down to the ground. Keeping the hands in the armpits, we're going to do some baby cobra to begin here. So roll your shoulders back as the chest and head lift. Feel that nice stretch in the neck, like the front of the neck, under the chin, and slowly down. Let's do it on a breath. Inhale, peeling up. Exhale, down. Inhale, peeling up. And down. Do another one here. And down. Lift up. And down. Put your head to one side, relax your arms. Let your heels flop out to the sides. Straighten your legs, tops of the feet. Now press back into the mat, straighten the head. Bring your hands out to the sides. Elbows are kind of up because now we're going to do full on cobras. So we're going to breathe up, lifting here. Head comes back. And exhale down. Inhale. And down. Breathing up. And down. If you need a break, take a break. Otherwise, keep going. Do a couple more of these. And back down. From here, bring the hands back in close to the body. Flip your toes under. We're going to push up. And back into playful puppy. So stretch the arms forward, butt comes in the air, stretch out that back. Really deepen the breath here. This stretch can feel so good for that upper back. And then pull your hands back a ways. We're going to pop up and back into a down dog. Take the time here again, make sure the head is hanging in space. You're not looking up through the hands, you're looking through your feet. And tuck that tail at that low back stretch. Then walking the hands back, bend your knees. And slowly starting to roll up. Reach the sky. Let your arms drop down. Nice. So this is usually when I would grab like half a cup of coffee. Fun fact. So I'm a French press person. So I've already consumed my French press of coffee this morning. So now I'm on to tea. But there is something really, really nice about an early morning practice. And even I keep my cup of coffee close to me. So if I'm on the ground kind of doing cobras, I'm literally smelling coffee as my motivation. And it works really, really well. Let's come into just a really nice kind of standing posture, a little bit relaxed, so not a full-on kind of mountain pose. Maybe some softness through the knees. Get your toes working in the mat. Good. Roll the shoulders back nice and tight through the core. Tuck the tail under, and then just gently adding these twists. We've been doing a lot of these recently, but it's a great way to start your morning. Let your arms gently float. And take your time so that you can actually intentionally look over that shoulder. You've got to look over those shoulders one at a time. Slow it down. Let's sweep up. Big breath in. Really stretch up here. And then a swan dive forward. Fingertips come to the floor. Drop your head. So again, not looking up towards your screen, kind of looking through the legs. Height through the core, start to sweep up. Nice and tall. And this time, as you exhale, bend the knees a little ways. Fingertips are going to just brush the floor, pushing back up. Touch your fingertips together and then pushing back down. This time the knees come a little bit further into that bend. Fingertips brush the floor. Pushing up. So every time we're coming down, we're bending the knees a little bit more. Exhale, coming down. And now maybe it's the hands dragging, pushing back up. Exhale down. See if we can do 2 more of these. And the last one coming all the way down. And back up. Good. Bring the hands together over top of the head. Grab a wrist, pulling into one side. Lots of breath here. Back to center. Grab the other wrist, other side. All the way up and rolling the shoulders down. Good. A little bit of a shift. Good. All right. Grab a quick beverage. So for me in the mornings, I'll decide what I'm going to do based on what my day has to offer me. If I'm sitting at my desk a lot, I want a lot more to kind of open my body. And I tend to want to have something that's a little bit more physically challenging if I am going to be physically active during my day. I might look more at just warming the body and getting into some deep stretches. So again, it's that sense of what is to come and how do I prepare to kind of land in that in the best possible way. So let's go through a couple of different options that maybe are things that you might enjoy and that you might want to come back to. So just kind of move your knees a little bit, move your hips a little bit. Make sure stuff's moving okay so far. Roll your shoulders. Let's just think about balance for a moment. So let's lift up onto the toe base. So I'm kind of rising up. Shoulders come back, just drop your arms. Neck is long. Chin is lifted, hips are tucked. And just hold here and breathe, noticing the wobble through the ankles. Let's slowly descend onto the heels. Let's do that again, lifting up. Lots of deep breath. Slowly descending down, and we'll do once more, so lifting all the way up. This one's a little bit hard for me today. Oh. And slowly descending down. Excellent. Okay. I'm moving over to one side of my mat. Shoulders are back. And I'm going to come into a little bit of a curtsy. So just bring your kind of, if this is your center point, bring the center leg behind. And I'm just bringing my toe base down. Supporting leg's going to be out on a slight angle. Shoulders are back. Core is tight. Hips are tucked. And we just want to come down, making sure it's comfortable, and up. We'll come down for 2, and up, 3, and on your up, step out nice and wide. Toes are out. Here we are going to bend the knees, sweeping over for 1. Other side, 2. Let's do a 3, a 4, and then we are stepping to the other side. It's harder when we're going slowly. Again, we'll pick up the pace a little bit. So now we're set up on the other side. That center leg is tucked behind, and we're going to go for 1 and 2 and 3. Step out for 4. And we go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Step behind for 1, 2, 3. Step out, and we go 1, big lean here, 2, a 3, and a 4. And let's do another time here. 1, 2, 3. Step out, and 1. Keep that core tight, so when you come up, you're pulling up. This is our 3 and our 4. And let's do one more time each side. 1, 2, chest is open. 3, step out, and big 1 and 2, 3, 4, huge there, and let's go 1, 2. It's all about the lift up. 3, and step apart. Now, this is something you can do with a chair in front of you. We're going to try it without. My toes are pointing out to the side. I'm going to lean into one side. My knee is going in the same direction as my feet. I need a bit more space here. So I want to come down. This is a stretch that we're familiar with, kind of side to side here. But as you start to push into this knee, I want you to bring your bum back. It looks like I'm about to sit onto my sofa. Bring your bum back, and that toe that is on the straight leg, lift up. So you're on your heel. So push back. Give it a try. Watch your balance. We come up, other side. So instead of just coming down, we're actually coming back into a squat. You're going to feel this beautiful stretch. This is amazing if you're going to have a day of sitting. So go side to side. And we're going to add some arms. Bring the arms forward, lining them up with your ears. Think about a modified kind of chair pose. And down and forward. Down and forward. Get those toes up, down and forward. Roll your shoulders, a little bit of a shake. Straighten the feet, sweeping up. And a beautiful swan dive forward and down, and breathe. Now we're going to hold this a little bit more. I'm starting to bend one knee and then the other, just getting a little bit more of a stretch here, a little bit of a twist. Do whatever feels good. And then slowly sweeping all the way back up and releasing to heart center. Great, good. A little bit of a shake out there. Okay. So I like to do that if I'm going to be sitting a lot. And I want to do one more flow with you. We were working on this last week. And it was amazing to me to kind of realize how much I really like how it feels, because it's hard physically and it really kind of energizes. And after the practice, I felt like $1,000,000. So we're going to come back to that because, again, as one little chunk, it's fairly easy to do. You don't need equipment. You don't need a lot of space. And this is our warrior 1, stepping forward into a knee lift, moving to a warrior 3. And then we're going to modify that, step back. And then we do the other side and we're going to step back. And then we're going to do it with a leg extension. If that sounds like it doesn't make any sense, don't worry, we're going to do it together. So we're going to start at the bottom of the mat. Let's get nice and tall. Bring your shoulders together. Hands to the heart. So last week we were doing this to really kind of figure out what we wanted to do with our energy. We wanted to keep it in or kind of express it out. So if you want to add that nuance, go for it. I'm just looking for a way to really kind of pump up my morning so I'm ready for whatever is to come. I'm going to bring my left foot out on a slight angle, and then I begin here by stepping forward with my right foot, nice wide stance. I'm evening out the hips. We'll go faster as we go through this, but very slowly, bringing everybody along together, starting with these pyramid legs, straight legs, even hips and pelvis, and then sinking into that front knee. So we have our lunge. This is great. You're probably going to feel some of this stretch through your glutes, maybe through the psoas, so those hip flexors. And then let's bring the arms into this, making it a really complete warrior one. Good. From here, let's bring the hands to the heart. That back leg steps forward and through. So a little bit of strength here. I have my foot flexed. And then I'm going to just hinge forward, bringing that leg behind. Start by lifting that leg as far as you can. Boy, I'm thankful to have a sofa beside me today. Supporting leg, try and keep it straight. Enjoy the stretch. And then bring that leg back through and up. Raise the arms, fingertips to the sky. Take that left foot that's in the air, step it back. Sink backwards into your warrior one. Bring the hands to the heart. Step back. Take a few breaths. Then we do the other side. So I'm going to bring my right foot out on a slight angle. Left foot steps forward. We start in pyramid here. 2 straight legs. Even at those hips. Then sink into that left knee. Notice the difference between this part of the posture on the left and right sides. Let's bring the arms into this, reaching up to the sky. My hands are like fingers apart. Super powerful, at least in my mind. Breathe a lot. Let's bring the hands to the heart. Roll your shoulders down. Bring that knee up and forward. Deepen the breath if you're finding that it's a little bit shallow. This is hard muscle work. And then start to tilt forward. Lift that leg up, 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 up. Lots of breathing. Let's bring the leg back through, arms come up. Step back into your warrior one. Hands to the heart. Stepping back. Oh my gosh, that was really hard. Grab a quick sip of a beverage if you have one. The reason why I've kind of pulled this back to go through it again this week is because this, to me, this tiny little flow feels like so much of my morning adventure, which is, you know, I know it's good to do hard things. I sometimes forget to breathe when I'm doing them, but as soon as it's done, I get this kind of hit of like, yeah, which is very similar to how coffee impacts me. So it's kind of a nice combination, and why something like this is pretty great in the morning. Plus, we're strengthening, we're getting that blood to flow, we're tapping into balance, opening up through the hip flexors, and all of these other great things. And because it's a little bit hard to do we're achieving something which releases dopamine. And let me tell you, that really makes a difference in the morning. So let's go through that again. I'm going to give you the option to add a piece to it this time. Shoulders are back, hands to the heart. Nice and tall, deep breath. Right foot out on an angle, my friends. Left foot steps forward, pyramid to begin. Sink into your lunge. Embrace and experience the tightness. It's not bad. It's just a message, which I say to remind myself because I'm going, oh my God, my hips are tight. Sweep the arms up, warrior one. Hands to the heart, the back foot comes forward and up. Here's what we're adding. Let's do leg extension. So lift that leg up as high as you can, breathe. This is hard as heck. Smile a lot, and then we're gonna push that leg through and back. Keep the breath deep, folks, it matters. And then bringing that leg back through as the arms lift up. Hands to the heart, step back, warrior one. Dun, 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 dun. And let's step all the way back, which is the hardest thing for me today. I feel like I'm about to fall through a window. I think that's part of it. I don't have much space here. All right, let's do the other side before we wrap this up. So I'm going to bring my right foot on an angle, left foot forward. Is that the right one? Am I doing it right this time? Maybe it's the other side. Left foot out, right foot forward. Whichever side you didn't do last time, I completely can't remember. All right, I'm going to bring my right foot forward. I appreciate these are the moments where you're at home, like shouting at me, the left and the right. I get it. All right, let's sink into a lunge. Sweeping the arms up. Hands come to the heart. Lift that leg up. And let's do our leg extension. Lifting, lifting, lifting. This is hard. Breathe a lot. You could bring the arms up if you're really hardcore. And then hands to the heart. Let's move this into a modified warrior three. So modified by hands to the heart. Lift that leg up. And move that leg back forward. Arms come up. Step back to warrior one. Hands to the heart. Let's step all the way back. How great is that? Sweeping up. Swan dive. Touch the floor, drop the head. Maybe bend one leg, then the other, a little bit of stretching and twisting here. And then rolling all the way up. Bring your feet apart. And just relaxing. So think about how you feel right now. This should be a moment where you feel like you've really been doing something, like, whoo. And that's exactly what you want. You want to use this energy when you kind of get up out of bed first thing in the morning, there's no sense of storing up that energy. Start using it. It's that notion of, kind of get that fire burning internally, because then whatever we put in through the rest of the day, be it food, stress, whatever, we're just going to burn it up. We're so much more ready for it. Let's come on down to the mat. We're going to wrap this up. So while I tend to skip Shavasana in the mornings, I do not skip some mat stretches. And there's a reason for that, because you don't want to kind of put yourself in a position that isn't going to be good for the rest of the day. So I'm going to come down to my back. Because of the postures that we were doing this morning, I really want to make sure that I'm doing a stretch for my glutes. They were working hard. Same with the quads. So let's make a figure 4, resting the side of the heel on the opposite knee, top of the knee. Apply some pressure here. So my foot is pressing into my knee is pressing back. My core is pretty engaged, shoulders are back. And then I'm going to very slowly start to lift using the foot that was on the floor. I'm kind of pulling that leg up. So this is where we're starting to get that stretch. And then this can be really kind of sloppy and loose, and just grab a hold. Just get into the areas that you need to stretch. Let's untangle and start to move to the other side. When you're ready, popping that foot up. And again, pulling in in the best way that you possibly can. And untangling. Reach through the knees to your feet. Shoulders are on the floor, and just kind of a flexible butterfly here, rolling around a little bit. Again, get into those tight spots. So this is, again, I was saying, like, this is a lot of stuff that I tend to do in the mornings. Not, God help me, not every day, but I try and do a few times a week. And then I do a walk, which is really, that's not negotiable. But I'm starting to feel now like I do when I do that in the mornings, which at this point I get a little, I feel kind of softer, feel like yawning, feel like relaxing. And that's exactly where I want to be, because literally 2 seconds after I get up from my mat, I will feel like I've got a burst of energy. But I have to get to that chill, kind of relaxed state in order to open that door to energy. Strange how that works. All right, I'm gonna push my knees together, extend the legs up into the air. I'm just gonna open my arms like a cactus, palms up, taking a few deep breaths here. Slowly drop the knees to the tummy, leaving the arms where they are. We're going to go into a spinal twist. I'm going to bring my legs down to the left-hand side while pressing into the right shoulder, turning my head to the right. Lots of breath. Very slowly switching sides. Back to center. When you're ready, moving into whatever position works for you for the Shavasana. We will do this for a few moments. Now, as you are resting on your mat in whatever position works for you, you can let your mind be blank. You can let your mind wander. Or you can do what I do during my morning practice as I'm kind of going through my last stretches and last little bit of savoring time on the mat. Start to think about the day ahead. And not in a way that's full of anxiety, but I find when I do the physical postures, really kind of get that, I don't know, that undetermined energy out of my system, then I can see clearly my day ahead. And this is the moment when sometimes I do my best prioritizing, kind of make some strategic decisions. Sometimes I just start thinking about what I'm going to have for lunch. But it's amazing how when we create the environment for greatness, greatness can happen. So just notice what comes into your mind, breathe, welcome it, and remember, no judgment. Deepen your breath as you start to move your head from shoulder to shoulder. Stretching the arms up over top of your head, stretch out your leg, stretch your fingers and your toes. And then give yourself a really big hug, pulling your knees into your tummy. And keep going with this deep breath in and out. And then when you're ready, move to a seated posture. And then take a hot minute and think about how you're feeling right now. Really kind of notice. And I am not foolish enough to believe that, what works for me works for anyone else. But notice how you feel. And if some of this stuff made you feel good right now, then maybe return to it. Again, there's about 5 or 6 different chunks that we did today. You can do independently. It's like, give it a go for 10 minutes. When we start introducing those little tiny blocks, it's just easier to make it a habit and make it something that's not a drag to do. So feel good about showing up, feel good about what you've accomplished. We have folks who are joining us kind of for the first time, so welcome. This is kind of how it goes. Although I don't know where my dogs are today. That's the only thing missing this morning. I think Jeff and Tad are in their crate having a sleep in. Anyway, to those of you who are going on to celebrate Mother's Day, I wish you all the best. And for those of you who are feeling a little bit of heaviness because of that day, please know that I am sending love and compassion in your direction. Send me your requests. We're going to keep going for a few more weeks before we wrap up for the summer season. So I can't wait to hear from folks. Let's bring the hands together in front of the heart. Namaste. Thank you.